Learning that according to reports, a Russian drone attack has hit Kyiv overnight, wounding 7 people. Loud explosions had rocked the city around midnight as multiple blasts were heard across several districts. Mayor Vitali Klitschko has stated that amongst the injured is a 13-year-old child that is receiving medical attention. 4 victims are also hospitalized. Timur Kachenko, head of Kyiv's military administration, has confirmed that enemy drones are over the city and multiple targets lie on the outskirts. He's added that air defense units are actively responding to the attack to protect the capital. Mayor Klitschko has also urged residents to remain in shelters, warning that the city remains at risk while authorities are assessing the damage. Residential buildings and cars have suffered damage across several neighborhoods, causing disruption and panic amongst residents. Authorities, meanwhile, continue monitoring the situation very closely, keeping defense and emergency teams on high alert. Still with us on the broadcast is Colonel Sanjeet Sirohi. We've been seeing a barrage of attacks. These attacks are just escalating day by day. More people are losing their lives. Trump has pointed out that his first priority is to stop the war and ensure that further lives are not lost. But of course, his plan was being seen as being rather sympathetic to the Russian side. There were several negotiations that had taken place in Geneva with Marco Rubio and a Ukrainian delegation. Further talks were earlier held in Abu Dhabi between Dan Driscoll and the Russians as well. Now we're expecting a Ukrainian delegation to head to Florida over the weekend. Amidst all of this, there have been murmurs that some of the clauses as far as the cap that was put earlier on the size of Ukraine's military, that will be relaxed. Also the question of NATO-style security guarantees could also be provided to the Ukrainians. If a fresh draft does accommodate Europe's concerns and Ukraine's concerns in particular, do you think the Russians will then accept it or not?
Well, Priya, let's be very clear about it, that whenever the peace negotiation or something towards peace is being talked about, the Russian strategy is to start pumping more drones and start pumping more bombs on Ukraine so that they can pressurize Mr. Zelensky, who has been against this plan, what Donald Trump administration has put out, that is a 28-point plan. And there is no doubt about it, these 28 points which have been considered, these are the most of the points which are very, very, as you have brought out, they are very, very sympathetic to a Russian. In fact, it is, people say that it is a Russian plan and this proposal was given by Russia to the Americans, and Donald Trump has passed the same plan to Zelensky. And for Zelensky, it is very, very difficult to surrender the territory of complete Donbass. The Russians have already pointed out that they want that Donbass region should be totally evacuated by the Ukrainian army. Even the strategic towns and strategic fortresses where the Ukrainian army is strong, Russians want them also to evacuate that and leave that place so that Russians can occupy that. So I think it is very, very difficult decision for Mr. Zelensky to accept this peace proposal, and I think Zelensky will be in a very tight position if he accepts that, because losing 20% of their territory is not a joke. Absolutely. And that is what the Russians are asking for. So I think the Russians, whenever the people are going closer to the peace, Russians, they always start doing more aggressive action against the Ukrainians, and that is what now they have started bombarding by drones and missiles the Kyiv, so that the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian president, he comes under pressure and somehow he signs the deal. So now we have to see how these 28 programs are diluted in favor of Ukraine to some extent, and what are the security guarantees which are being thought of being given to the Ukrainian. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking our time, of course, sharing your analysis with our viewers on the broadcast today. On that note, we're tracking some further developments from the Black Sea region. We're now learning that 2 oil